solid tower, has good DPS, deals the damage over time, and it has a really thick beam. Hello gamers, my name is Keiki, and today we're making the tier list for the tier 5 towers. This discussion has been so freaking long. People argued about the different towers for the chimps and non-chimps, but today we are gonna rank them overall. I know it's gonna be difficult, I know it's gonna be annoying, but we are gonna account for the chimps mode, for the half cash mode, for the impoppable, for the apocalypse, etc, etc, etc. The properties of each tower, and we are just gonna make the conclusive tier list on what towers are good and what towers are bad. Let's begin. So we have 7 rankings: S, A+, A-, B, C, F. We have 63 towers, and it's our goal to complete this. Okay, let's begin. Bloons Master Alchemist, S tier, really good tier 5. S tier because it serves its purpose better than any tower in the game. I'm gonna put S towers in the S tier if they are able to outweigh the towers in the other towers in one sector. And BMA is one of those towers where it can deal even more pops in the late game than the true Sun God. And this is some real stuff, because he has the percentage-based damage. So Bloons Master Alchemist reduces all the blimps to the red bloons, regardless of how many layers, pops, etc. they have. So for example, BMA can reduce the round 80 Omega to red bloon as the same as he can reduce the round 300 Omega to the red bloon. I'm pretty sure round 300 Omega is gonna have like almost 100,000 pops just from popping it, but BMA doesn't care. He reduces them in an instant, and he does this well. Then, okay, trade market or something like that, tier 5 farm. I would put it at A. It's not A minus, neither it is A plus. Why A? Because this farm is convenient. I would say that it's not the best in terms of income, but this is the cheapest tier 5 farm, and if you get it, you forget about everything. You don't need to press the ability button for the monkey bank, and you don't need to have farmers or collect the income. Everything is done for you, and this farm generates 4,200 bucks on top of the active income it earns each round at the end of the round. So this is a solid option. I usually prefer this farm tier 5 to other farms in the regular game, not the very late game, because it's just convenient. Bomb tower. This bomb tower is A minus because it's good, but the blimps popping power has been buffed, but not so significant that we would use this tower all the time, which is why this cluster bomb tower is gonna be A minus. Mob Dominator, A plus. It's not S tier because I would say it's almost S tier, A plus plus, but we don't have this, so it's A plus. Mob Dominator is ridiculously good against the blimps. It's almost on par with the BMA in the late game. You can also use him in chimps and in the regular game modes, except the half cash, and he will deliver. He has really good popping power against mass blimps, for example round 90 to 94, 96, 98, and he also deals really solid damage to the bad balloons. So you make your own conclusions. I think this one is A plus for sure. Crossbow Master, S tier. This is the best all-arounder. I'm pretty sure we might change those at the end, but I'm pretty sure Crossbow Master is the best all-rounder tower. He pops all bloon types, he has really high range, he has good pierce, he's dealing good with the ceramics, with the mobs, BFBs, Zomagods, everything except the bad bloons. So this guy is your go-to if you don't wanna think and you just place him. And on top of that, if you have the monkey knowledge points, you can place 2 of those broken guys, and they are relatively cheap because this tier 5 costs around 30k. Druid, I'm gonna put it at A+. The hater Druid it's good, but it's not S tier. We have a very reliable strategy on Chimps mode for the beginner and intermediate maps using the Druid and Dark Castle, but Dark Castle is not really an expert map if we're honest. So this Druid can buff all the other towers, 5 Druids in range of this Druid, and also no, not the 5. It buffs all the Druids in range. Also, this Druid gets a really significant increase in attack damage and attack speed when there are a lot of bloons on the map. By a lot of bloons, a game usually means 2 or 3 Zomagods. If there are more than 2 or 3 Zomagods, this Druid enters his 3rd phase of damage, and it can annihilate the Zomagods in a matter of seconds. However, and he's also good against the bad bloons. However, this tower falls off in the late game pretty quickly. But I put him so highly because of the champ strategy that is really good for the beginners. The super glue, B. It's good, but it's not. It cannot stand up to the other tier 5s. It's good just for stopping the blimps in one place. The helicopter, I don't remember the exact name for this one, but it's not good. It's C. It used to be really good, but the Ninja KV, first they buffed it so that it became good, almost on par with Apache, but right now they nerfed it again and it's not so good. You don't wanna buy this one. Ice guy, let's put in S tier, because this ice tower is, I would say, the best in terms of stunning, and not just the stunning, because this super glue is gonna be better in terms of stunning in one place, but this ice tower can stun better in terms of it can stun more bloons at the same time. It also deals damage to the blimps, and its range is higher, and overall, just if we compare these two towers, the ice tower wins. Good. Fortress, flying fortress. Let's put in A, because flying fortress is really expensive, but it's a really good upgrade. It's not on par with those two, but it's a solid A tier. It's strong, it can carry you up to round 125 or so, and if you can have some fun with this tower. Trade Empire C. It's not good. It is good if you use it with the other tier 4 boats, etc., but it has really narrow scenarios, and if you farm good enough, you're gonna out-farm this strategy easily. So it's even the best use of this tower is being outweighed by the other tower with the same purpose. Sub-commander, A+. Let's put it in the, or A. No, A, because it has been nerfed by 25% in DPS. It's a significant nerf. Subcom is good. It buffs all the other submarines. It doubles their damage. Subcom is also a really potent tower on its own, but it has been nerfed, and it's sad. I really like the old Subcom. Not much to say. I have not much to say about this guy. It's, if you played with this tower, you know it's really good. Then the consuming village. This tier 5 consumes the farms around it, and it becomes a really good farm. Let's put it at A minus because it's good with the only one purpose, with making a really profitable farm. But in other uses, it's just useless. You don't use this farm in any other scenario, which is why I can't put this really that much higher. A minus because it's really good in this scenario. The best farm in the game, easily. Okay, mortar. This mortar is really solid. It deals damage over time. It doesn't have many weaknesses. It can deal with all balloon types, including DDTs and Zomagods. And this mortar is underappreciated. You really need to try to play with this guy if you never tried this, because it packs some punch. Let's put it this way. Okay, the super bomber. It's bad. Let's put it at F tier. I don't think that this guy is deserving of tier 5. You barely ever use this guy, and meh. Then Elite Defender. Elite Defender, let's put him at a regular A, because Elite Defender is good. It's good with shrapnel, it's good early and mid game tower, but it falls off in the late game. You use it and use it pretty often. Spike Factory, Perma Spike, S tier. Because of the chimps, because of the Perma Spikes, when you outbuff them, they destroy everything, including DDTs and bats. Because of the chimp strategies, because of the regular strategies, this Perma Spike is the best in its league. Then, Batman Super Monkey, Legend of the Night. Legend of the Night, A+. It's a good upgrade, but it's very expensive. Or, no, I'm gonna put it at S tier, because this is the best tower against blimps. Regardless of how many blimps you have, when they reach the end of the track, Legend of the Night can kill them. And there is no limits to this ability. You can launch 1000 bats at the same time, and he will consume them just like that, with this passive ability. Then, and he also has pretty good DPS, but it's a very expensive tower. Tech Zone B. Tech Zone, or no, not B, A minus. Tech Zone used to be good, but they nerfed it slightly. It's still good, but it's not the game breaker, not the tower that you can use everywhere. You need to use it in the narrow scenarios, and same thing, it's not the best. It's very similar to this bomb tower, if we are honest. This one. You need to think before you use this tower. Prince of Darkness, S tier. It used to be a pretty bad tower, but after the few buffs, we found out that Prince of Darkness can be one of the most broken tier 5s in the game. With Prince of Darkness, there are a lot of cheapest runs for the chimps in the expert maps and the other map difficulties, etc. This one is a really good tower, and you can buy Prince of Darkness in pretty much every game mode, including the half cash, and you will not regret it. The alcoholic Alchemist, alcoholic guy, B tier, yeah, B tier it is. Not as good. Majority of the times, it's good when you use the ability, because it can turn the other towers in the super quickly firing super monkey like Druids. Not Druids, the Alchemists. But it's useful in the chimps mode, and not the chimps mode, in the races, and rarely in chimps mode. So this guy is. And the same thing, it's not the best in the popping power, etc. It's just the mediocre tier 5. Monkey Bank, A tier. Maybe even A+. No. A tier, because with this farm you don't do anything, you get money. With this one you need to collect the money using the ability, which gives you $12,000 or almost each minute. I would say it's like 50 seconds or so. This farm makes more money than this one, but it costs more, and you need to actively press the button, or you need to spend the Robo Monkey. Mob Eliminator, B. Why B? Because before the release of Dirtling Gunner, the Mob Eliminator would be A or A+, but it completely falls off because of the MAD. It used to be one of the best towers against the blimps, specifically Bad Bloon, but not anymore, and you almost have no reason to buy the Mob Eliminator, except if you want to have some variety. Boomerang Monkey Turbocharge. Probably A-. It's I would put him in the same league with the Tech Zone. This guy is not really good overall, but it has the uses. You can play chimps with this guy and mix him with the Sun Avatar and Spike Factory Perma Spike, but as with this, without the buffs, etc., this guy is not really good. Plasma Monkey Fan Club F tier. It's utter garbage tower that should not exist, and I bet Ninja just created him because they needed to have some kind of tier 5 upgrade for the Super Monkey Fan Club. Bet against everything for the price you pay for this monkey. Okay. Spirit of the Forest, A-. Spirit of the Forest is good, but it's because it has been buffed, the price was reduced. But it's not so good in Chimps mode, just because you don't get any cash at the end of the round, because all of the cash generating abilities in Chimps mode are restricted, almost all of them except the Oben's Forest. It's good in terms of passive damage, not exceptional, and just how it is. Not a very memorable tower. Glue Gunner, the Octopus Glue Gunner, B, because maybe even C, because you don't use it pretty much ever. You don't need to use it. You use the tier 3 in this upgrade path, and that's about it. It's much worse than the Sperma Glue. Sperma Glue. Okay, Heli. C tier. Same thing, this Heli is kinda alright, but you don't use it in Chimps. You don't need tier 5 Heli to move the towers, you just buy tier 4. You can carry the tower with Monkey Knowledge on this helicopter, but it's not the game breaker, and it's just mainly just for fun. Ice Tower, same thing, C tier. It's not so good. You get the Absolute Zero ability and the Freeze Aura that allows you to place the towers on the water, but you get the same thing for the tier 3 of this upgrade path, and you don't need to waste like $40,000 on this guy. So, not good. Sarbomba. B, probably, maybe even C. I would put it in the B because in the right hands, Sarbomba can be good, but most of the times it's much worse than the first strike capability or preemptive strike with the similar price range. It has bad passive damage, and the only thing that's good in Sarbomba is the Sarbomba ability. Pirates Buccaneer. A-. Yes, A- because it's pretty good, but you cannot do much stuff with it other than pulling the blimps. Okay, the next one is the Preemptive Strike. Preemptive Strike is an S tier, because it deals with the DDT. The DDT is better than any other tower in this price range, and it has solid damage against the other blimps, because of the passive ability it has. You really want to use the Preemptive Strike in your water map walkthroughs, and it's just a solid tower. Even though it's expensive, the pros outweigh the cons. Then the Homeland Defense. B. Homeland Defense is way too expensive. You never use it in Chimps mode because you just don't need to use this tower, and it's really good in the late game, but not in the actual game modes. Okay, opened a probably B or A-. like, it's alright. I would say B because it's way too annoying. It's alright. You can use it, you can play chimps with Pop and Ave, etc., but you need to micro the fuck out of this tower, and it's pretty darn annoying to play with. The ability is good but not exceptional, and you get what you are hoping for. Nothing more than this. Then the Grand Saboteur. B. Nothing more than B. It's just the better Sabo, and you don't need to have this better Sabo. You should rather have the 5 or 6 Sabos instead of this guy for the same price. The Elite Sniper is utter garbage, same as the other two F towers, because you don't get anything good for this guy. It's expensive, and in chimps mode you can't even drop the cash drops from this guy from the ability. Okay, the Carpet of Spikes, A tier. It's good, it's not exceptional, or no, it's A minus, but rather A minus, because it has good anti-blimp damage, but nothing exceptional. The ability is alright. What this tier 5 has that tier 4 doesn't have is the passive usage of the ability. Once Carpet of Spikes feels like there are a lot of balloons on the map, he activates the ability, and you can also use the actual ability of this tower, and you will have double the amount of spikes. That's about it. And these abilities can be triggered, I'm pretty sure, up to 2 or 3 times per round. Also, this is a very laggy tower. If you have a weak device, don't buy this one. Okay, Tech Terror. Tech Terror is A minus. It's not even B, because it's not good in pretty much any regard. If we compare it to the other Super Monkeys, it doesn't excel against the DDTs, against the mass blimps. Again, the good thing is his ability, but it falls off in the later game. And the only good thing about this guy is that it contributes to the Vengeful Sun God upgrade. Super Male Storm, or Smale. A minus. It's good, it's very good in races, but in the actual game, not so much. Micro intensive tower that you need to be experienced player, and you need to be a good player to play with this guy. Wizard Lord Phoenix S tier, really good against DDTs and mass blimps. One of the best damage dealers in the game. It's on par with the Sun God and the Spike Factory. I don't remember the name, like the Super Balls. Then the Alchemist Permanent Brew. A plus. I don't want to put him in the S tier because I don't think it's as good as the other S tier towers. It's almost there. It's as good as the Dominator and the Vengeful Druid, but not as good as the S tier. He basically gives the permanent Alch buff to all the towers in range, basically doubling their capabilities. The other farm, same thing, is gonna be A tier. It's slightly better than the other two. I would say Bank and this farm give you the same amount of money, but with this guy you can buff all the tier 4 farms on the first path, and its passive abilities outweigh the other two. If you want the most profitable way to farm, you will use this guy as your main banana producing facility. The Bomb Tower, this one is also A+. I wouldn't say it's much worse than the Ice Tower, but slightly worse. This guy stuns every balloon type except the bed in one place. It also deals really big splash damage, and it's just good to have. It's on the similar level to the Moab Dominator, so use this guy for the late game. Then the Glaive Lord. Glaive Lord C tier. It's not good. More Glaives is much better than Glaive Lord. Glaive Lord is good against ceramics, but it falls off in the late game significantly. Don't buy this tower. Ultra Juggernaut A. Ultra Juggernaut, it's really good in the maps, on the maps where there are a lot of obstacles, and it's cheap. So you can afford this guy in almost all the game modes, including the half cash in some maps, and you want to use this guy, for example, on maps such as Moon Landing, Balance, maybe Workshop, but it's debatable, and just the maps with a lot of obstacles. On the Zeus Druid, not so good. It has been buffed, but we can't use it in chimps. We can't use it in the regular game modes. It's A because it's really good in the late game, but it's not on the same level as the Mob Dominator, for example. Okay, then Bloon Liquefier A-, really good in the races, bad in any other aspect. Apache S tier. As Apache is a really good tower, Apache Prime, solid tower for the chimps, for the regular game modes, good all-arounder, similar to the Crossbow Master. But it flies, it has no range limitations, and the only weakness of this guy is the DDTs, but with the overclock you can pop the DDTs no problem. This one is F tier. What it does, maybe not F, let's put it in C, because it allows you to deal more damage to the blimps that he hit, but Super Brutal is not so good. Sky Shredder, let's put it not A+, because it's very micro-intensive tower where you need to ace micro a lot, but it has good damage, good pierce, pretty much good everything, and if you are a good ace microer, the Sky Shredder is probably the best ace for the chance mode. Okay, Carrier A+. I can't put it in the S tier because it's good but not S tier. It's better than the Subcom. It has the similar properties. Ideally, you want to use the Carrier and the Subcom at the same time, because Carrier doubles the attack speed of all the water towers on the map, while Subcom doubles the damage of all the submarines. So if you use submarines, you want to use Subcom and the Carrier, because Carrier further doubles their DPS. Good all-rounder, good in the mid-game and falls off in the late game, but you often use the aircraft carrier in the actual game modes, such as hard, chimps, etc. Okay, the nuclear sub. A- or A? Let's put it in the A- because its DPS is minuscule, but this sub has main usage of it is just the abilities. It reduces the ability cooldowns. For example, there is the Reactor sub Churchill strategy, Reactor sub Brickle strategy, where you put the heroes in range of this Reactor sub and you spam the ability because you can use it much more frequently. 2 times as frequent if we're in range of this sub, and I'm pretty sure like 30% or 25% more frequent for all the towers on the map. Okay, the village. This village B tier, it's alright, you don't ever use it most of the times, has good damage, but the peak performance for this one is to destroy a lot of BFBs. It struggles against the Omegas and bad Bloons. The biggest one, A+. I really like this tower. It has its own strategy to play with. For example, on the, I don't remember the name, the sewage map, and basically all the maps that have circles, the biggest one would be a really good choice to play with. Has good damage against everything except the Zombigods and the Bad Bloons. But Zombigods, he can handle the Zombigods most of the time, but not the Bad Bloon. Bad is the only weakness of this guy, and if you give him the Camo Vision and the Overclock, you can destroy round 98 with this guy, no problem. Grandmaster Ninja, either A+ or S tier. Let's put it in the S tier because Grandmaster Ninja strategy for the chimps with the Shinobis can destroy pretty much almost every map in the game. You complete the chimps on the #ouch and the how's the map is called X Factor with this strategy, and it's a very solid strat. Grandmaster is not as good on its own, but with the strategies it is a really good tower overall. Tier 5 Stunning Sniper B. It's way too expensive, you don't use it in any scenario except the late game because it has the similar ability to the Super Brittle. It allows the, let's call it this way, it reduces the armor of the blimps by 15% or so. Super Mines A+. Not S tier because it's one of the best damage dealers, but the BMA outweighs it slightly. But this is also a must-have in the late game. True Sun God, same thing, A+, because BMA is better, and it's on the same level as the Super Mines Factory. Hell Furnace A-, you can use it, it's good, but not the broken tower by any means, and you need to think cleverly to use this tower. Then Wizzy Boy, just A, regular A, not A+, because Wizzy Boy is good, but it falls off in the late game, but there are a lot of strategies for the Grandmaster Wizard, or however it's called. Use it, it's good in pretty much every way, except it's bad against DDTs most of the times and bad against Bad Bloons. BEZ, Bloon Exclusion Zone, A+. Really good all-arounder. You place it, you give the MAB to it, Alch buff it, and it destroys pretty much everything up to round 100. MAD S tier, the best Moab class Bloon destroyer for the mid to late game. It falls off in the late game beginning from rounds 150 and later, but before this, this is the best affordable Moab destroyer. And the Ray of Doom, A or A-. Let's put in the A, let's not disrespect this tower. It's good, it's way too expensive for the usage that we get from it, but solid tower, has good DPS, deals the damage over time, and it has a really thick beam. The thickest beam in this game, if we are talking about the straight solid beam. Okay, and this is pretty much it. Okay, let me see if I want to change anything. No, I don't think I want to change anything. I like how this looks. This is the overall rating, the conclusive rating for Tier 5 towers. Finally, there is one, because there is a lot of shit misinformation about the Tier 5s. Okay guys, press the like or dislike button right now, depending on what you think about this video and tier list itself. Subscribe now and comment your opinion. What do you think? Do you agree with these? Maybe you want to shift a few towers? Tell me your opinion and share this video with your friends. What can I say? See ya in the next one.